Stephanie Green Living here, and I'm here to show you how I'm going to make my first 2 layered cards. And this video was inspired by Exo Nitra, and her tutorial is called Do It Yourself or DIY Layered Cards. It inspired this. And so these are just the items that I'm going to be using right here. This is one of the pads that I got when I first started making cards about 4 years ago, and it's really nice. I'm going to be using this image, and I'm going to be using this page right here. I'm going to be using scraps mostly to work from. I'm going to be using this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So it's a pretty green, pink, a mixture of white. I'm going to be using this Vellum Coat with Flair book that I was gifted. And the way that I'm going to use this is I am going to just cut around the scriptures. I'm going to use the scriptures for a project, but I'm going to use these vellum pieces. Here I have my stamp that I'm going to be using. It's a really beautiful stamp that I was gifted, and I absolutely love it. And of course, if you have a stamp, you need some ink. So I have my ink. I am going to be using a washi. I am going to be using a tag. I'm going to be using this in a really neat way. I am going to be using some Studio G, which is kind of like the stickles. I may be using these Glimmer Mist at the end. I was gifted these. They're so absolutely beautiful in projects. Of course, for all projects, you need adhesive. So I have a glue sticks, I have some white glue, and I have double-sided adhesive tape. I have a little bit of bling. I've got some small and larger white and more of a beige pearl color. I've got a little bit of the hot pink and some silver here. I only own one gel pen. It was sent to me from a sweetie, Jen, and I love it. I can't wait to get more. And these are some markers that my neighbor gave me because would you believe I don't have any markers? And I most certainly don't have any fancy big ones. And some lace. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and fold your cards up. If you don't have the pre-made card like I do, you can just go ahead and take your cardstock and use your scoreboard to go ahead and make a card. If you don't have a scoreboard, that's fine too. You can just use your fingers, I've seen people use a knife, I've seen people use all different types of things. Okay, after we go ahead and take care of that, you're going to go ahead and cut one of the pieces of cardstock scraps so that it can go ahead and become my bases. And I did not measure these, so they may not be exactly the same, and they're 2 different cards anyway. And you can use whatever tools you have. If you have cutters, scissors, whatever you have, you work with that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build my card going across. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of those scraps, and I'm just going to cut them into strips. And I'm going to take 2 to 3 prints for each card. And I also went ahead and cut my vellum strips as well. So now I am just going to begin to layer them on the card. Soon I plan to get a tripod. It's going to really help me with my videos so that I can just kind of do a continuous video. Until then, it's okay. So just going to kind of layer them like so. And that vellum that I told you about, on the other card I'm going to use the whole piece, but on this card I just wanted to show you if you only had scraps or you just didn't want to waste any extra, how you could do it that way as well. Okay, so here it is. I kind of just have them laying in the position that I want them in. And the next thing that I'm gonna do is go ahead and add another piece that's smaller than the other one that I just had. And each time I'm just getting smaller and smaller with my pieces because I'm trying to add up here. So I am going to take a piece of pink cardstock and I'm just going to go ahead and use my stamp and my stamp ink and go ahead and stamp my girls, and then I'll just come back and show you that. Okay, my girls are sitting pretty. Alright, so let me show you or tell you what I'm going to do really quick with this tag. I am going to take this and I'm going to cut off the top here, and I'm going to use that to be the top of one of my sweeties, and I'm going to take some washi tape and that's going to be the top of the other one. I have my washi at the top of the one that's on my left, and I went ahead and I took the top part of that tag on the right and I used the sentiment. I told you guys we're using a lot of scraps, so I'm just taking this scrap right here and I'm just slipping it under here, and I love the look that it gives. Of course I had to slide this out of place a little. And then I'm just going to take that hello sentiment and I'm going to add it on here, and we're just going to add that to the bottom of there. Next I'm going to see where do I have the space that I can go ahead and add my doilies, and I'm going to go ahead and play around with the gel pen and the few markers that I do have and see how I can make these girls my own. Okay, I'm back. Nothing has been glued down yet, but I did go ahead and I added the lace here. I wanted to show you something that I did. I never did this before and I tried it and I made a mistake on the other one. But I always see Hannah from Pepper and Pine. Well, actually that's her homeschool channel, but I always see Hannah from her Hannah scrapbooking channel, and she always takes her ink pen and just kind of marks along every page, and I was like, let me try that in pink, and I tried it and I like it. I'm actually thinking about doing the white one as well that way. And then over here, oh my goodness, I was doing the same thing to the edges, and then whoop, some got on one, so I was like, well, since it's already on one, I might as well make it even and go ahead and put it on the other one as well. And so anyway, it's okay, right? There's no mistakes, just room for embellishments and bling. Or that's what somebody said anyway. So I do have a lace up there, and I decided too to just go ahead and put washi on this one as well. And I kind of like the way that it turned out. Okay, so now I am going to play around with the glitter mist. I am going to play around with the little flat back pearls, and we're gonna see what we can do. Oh, also I want to point out I did go ahead and kind of color in my little girl a little bit. This one I did her hair, and then I used pink and I used green, and over here I just filled in the little hearts and just kind of left her plain. I decided that I was going to go ahead and add the top of the tag over here, and I went ahead and I added a little bit of flat bead pearls, and I added some lace, and I added some washi, and I added some flowers up top and some more lace because I just felt that it looked empty, and this is my finished product and I like it overall. It's my first time, so I definitely have room for growth, and this is the second one. It has a sentiment hello, and overall I am happy with this one. So these are my first two cards, or just two of my cards that I did tonight, and overall I'm happy with them. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, blessings, remembering that you can do a lot with a little.